Tonight, we are hosting the Candidate Showcase for 2026-2027 District 211 District Leaders. And we are talking to Kari Susairaj, who will be running for the role of Club Growth Director. The format of the showcase will be as follows. Once the session begins, it will run for a total of 7 minutes. During that time, questions will be asked and then repeated to ensure the candidate has heard the question. When the candidate has completed answering their question, please ask for the next question. The candidate may choose to end the question portion of the session and share they would like to end with a closing statement. Once the 7-minute mark is reached, we will politely interrupt you to let you know the time is done. Okay. All right. Moving to speaker mode. Here we go. What will you do to attract the younger market, age 25 to 35-year-old, to the district? What will you do to attract the younger market age between 25 to 35 years old to the district?
I think we already have a pool of members throughout our clubs in that age range that can really help us with this. I think social media is really going to be the key and really understanding the way that that information is consumed by that younger generation in conjunction with the people who are in that younger generation and learning how their habits work is really going to be helpful in learning some different techniques that we can use in order to reach out and pose this communication skills in a different way. Next question, please.
What are your plans to address growth in low density areas? What are your plans to address growth in low density areas?
The thing I would like to look into is trying to form clubs that maybe combine a couple different businesses together to form those clubs. So, really looking into how we can use that to our best advantage. So, instead of looking at only large companies that have a big base to form a club, combining a couple companies together to form a club that will help out in those less dense areas, really get some of that population into the area. So that's something I would really like to explore and see if there's some different strategies we can come up with. Next question, please.
What is your plan to promote the organization to corporate leaders and community organizers? What is your plan to promote the organization to corporate leaders and community organizers?
The thing I love to tell people about Toastmasters is it can help in every single thing that you do. And whenever someone says, no, I don't need Toastmasters, I always tell them, well, that's the reason why you need Toastmasters. It helps with conversations. It helps with your meetings. It helps with your public speaking. It helps with evaluations. It helps with absolutely anything. You give me any single problem you want to tackle, I bet you I can tell you how Toastmasters can help you with that problem. And that's how I would like to bring it up into those communities, to the community leaders, into corporate leaders, because it really is great for development. And when you develop your employees, when you develop all of the people in the community, then they're going to use those skills out in the community, and it makes that community, it makes that company that much better. Great communicators really do drive so much, both in companies and in the community. Next question, please.
How can we encourage members to speak up to address concerns about club and district leadership? How can we encourage members to speak up to address concerns about club and district leadership?
This year is going to be a bit of a different year now that we're merging districts, and we're going to have lots of people in these roles who haven't worked together before. And it's going to be really important for the district leadership to get to know each other really well right away and really form an openness within the district so they're approachable. Of course, everyone's not always willing to come in and approach and bring up situations, especially if they're uncomfortable. So making sure that there's other ways that they can bring that up, encouraging them to start with their area director or a division director or someone they're comfortable with. Make sure that they're talking to someone they're comfortable with, having anonymous surveys, some way to share the information, but not keep the information to themselves. Because we definitely can't help improve anything if we don't know what's wrong. So we really want to get those ideas and we want to encourage those ideas anyway. So then we can do something about it. We can form an action plan and we can actually go and make some positive changes. Next question, please.
How can we encourage members to speak up and, oh, well, that's not good. What do you believe is meant by servant leadership? Please share how you are a servant leader.
This is actually a phrase that is used all the time in my corporate office. A servant leader is really a leader that is there to do anything possible to help their team succeed. It doesn't matter if it's taking on tasks they wouldn't normally take, going in for extra hours, doing extra tasks, anything to help that team succeed. In this district, especially forming this new district, jumping in, pitching in wherever there's a need. That's going to be vital as we're forming this new district, as we're trying to get our feet on the ground, get moving, but we also want to be a strong district. We want to have successes. So that's really what we want to see. We want people who are going to be serving as those kind of servant leaders and are willing to take on the extra stuff for those who don't feel they may have a voice or don't feel that they have any influence to do that. And so that's really what I think a servant leader should do. Next question, please.
What committees would you like to see in place to support district success? What committees would you like to see in place to support district success?
One thing I see that we struggle with all the time, of course, is membership. I would like to see some committees around membership, maybe one specific to membership retention. How can we better keep the members that we have? Maybe this committee is in charge of reaching out to members that have dropped off. They're no longer in Toastmasters, but they're regularly reaching out to see why they're not in Toastmasters anymore, see if they want to rejoin, see if there's other possibilities for them.
And we've reached 7 minutes.
Thank you.
Thanks. That went by really fast.
It did.
Kari, you did an awesome job, and I really appreciate having this opportunity to talk to you.
Thank you. Oh yeah, this was